Today's guest is Dan Shinder, founder of Drum Talk TV, a global hub for musicians with over 1 million fans worldwide, and the creator of Social Media on Steroids, where he teaches businesses how to grow without paying for ads. Get ready to learn how he built a massive online community and turned passion into impact. Let's get into the show. This program is part of the Scene Projects Podcast Network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Starts, and with me today is Dan Shinder. Dan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bubba, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And whoever's taking time to watch and listen, I appreciate it as well.
Well, we hope there's plenty of them.
Absolutely.
I think you're a man who's comfortable with a lot of attention, growing this massive following, talking drums and music and sharing knowledge with people. But before we get into everything that you're doing now, we'd love to know a little bit of the backstory. And you get to choose how far back you go, but you don't have to go all the way back to birth. But we'd love to know a little bit about you, Dan, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Thanks. I appreciate it so much. Well, I'll work backwards from now. My wife and I have a blended family of 11 grown kids, 19 grandkids, and we're expecting our second great grandchild. We know what it's like to be busy. And if you really want what you're after, don't use busy as a reason or an excuse to not go after it. Sure, life can get in the way. Those things get in the way. All those people certainly get in the way, which is why we moved around to a small town in the mountains. They don't know where we are. But if you really, really want what you're after, make the time and make time for balance as well. But yeah, I've been a drummer for 56 years. I should be a lot better. And way back when I had started playing drums, I always wanted to grow up and be the next Jacques Cousteau. I wanted to be an oceanographer. I think it's no coincidence that my first two initials are DR because my mom was sure I'd grow up to be some sort of doctor. But after playing drums for 7 years, and I was pretty good at 14, my dad took me to see a band maybe a lot of you haven't heard of called Led Zeppelin. And by the third song, the giant light bulb went on above my head, and I thought, wait, that could be a job, like a career path. So a couple of days later, when my dad and I got our hearing back, I got my parents together, sat them down, said, I don't think I want to be a scientist anymore. My mother enthusiastically said, oh, what do you want to be? And I said, I think I want to be a professional drummer like John Bonham. She fainted. We hit her with the paddles. She came to, and she moped around a bit. But to her credit, at 15 years old, I was 15, and she found an audition for what became my first professional gig, touring the United States as a paid musician from LA, where we lived, where I grew up, to Long Island and back a different way. Fast forward many years later, I fell in love with video, and I had a cooking show on TV for a while. And that's hard to say without laughing. And when that was over, I started doing corporate videos and things, and came back from a big project in Australia and didn't know what I wanted to do. And my wife said, why don't you teach drum lessons? You told me you used to do that. By that time, there was such thing as streaming video. I did know how to teach. I still played. So I started that. But then I started interviewing fellow educators. My amazing wife, Enja, said, that's what you should do. Long story, a little shorter, she inspired me to start what became Drum Talk TV. And what we do is we interview golden platinum artists, up and coming artists. We curate content from our fans from over 100 countries. We do documentaries, cover events. We have our 5th original series starts tomorrow as we're recording this, which would be the 26th of September. And it will be 13 years old in January. And it's just been an incredible, crazy ride. In the first year, we hit such amazing milestones that it inspired me to start a marketing training company and coaching company to teach people how to do what I was already doing in that first year. My target was never to reach 100 million people a year, which we've done almost every year for the 13 years without paying for advertising or boosting posts. But it felt like the right thing to do. And I guess it was fortuitous because our numbers just kept growing and growing. I've kept devising more ways that people could achieve such great results. So I've worked with everybody from garage bands to platinum artists to solopreneurs and nonprofits to Ford Motor Company and other big companies. And it's just a lot of fun. And I stay busy, but do my best to work in balance with our 4 dogs and 2 cats and my amazing wife. And that's a little bit about me.
Amazing stuff, Dan. So recently we had Clem the Great, Clementine Moss. She is the drummer for a Led Zeppelin tribute band, all
Yeah.
female, called Zepparella. And
Yeah.
the Bonham influence, right, bites a lot of us. Obviously, growing up as a guitar player myself, and those early Led Zeppelin albums just being the heartbeat. And even though I'm much younger, right, I'm 39, that music still rang true with us. And yeah, love that it and continues to inspire young people, right? I think any young drummer listens, and to go back and maybe watch some of the videos and Bonham doing Moby Dick with his bare hands on a drum set, and
Yeah.
just the force that he was, and gone too soon, obviously. But
Oh,
love
yeah.
that you were inspired at a young age, and to go right into it. Probably fortunate to grow up in the area that you did, being able to kind of hook up on a tour and to go and to begin to be a paid musician at such an early age. I got a similar story for me, but not on the level to that. But I got my first paying gig with my dad's band,
Oh,
playing in rural South Dakota. I grew up in Deadwood, South Dakota, but we get paid more here, performing in these rural areas than most people do in the bigger cities. So
yeah.
I kind of, it spoiled me a bit. It kept me from ever, going to places like a Nashville. And I was around Los Angeles, but I was busking on Venice Beach, making more than people were making playing in clubs.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's where my dad grew up. My dad went to Venice High. My mom went to Culver High, and they were high school sweethearts since they were 16 and were married until my mom passed in her late 60s. So that area, SoCal, that area in particular means a lot to me. But I grew up in the West San Fernando Valley, and I tore up the Sunset Strip as I got a little older into my late teens and into my 20s, and just some really, really, really great memories. Going on that first tour at 15, it really taught me that at the time, that's what I wanted to do. And I say at the time because I did all that. I toured, I gigged, I did studio work, I produced, I did all that stuff. And now I'm Drum Talk TV and all that, and I'm very fine with that. But it kind of messed with me in a way coming back from that first tour the day before registering for my classes in high school back then started in 10th grade. And I got back the day before registering, and I was in line thinking, like, what am I doing here? I already know what I want to do. I'm already doing it. I had opened for Heart, Styx, Blue Oyster Cult, the Osmonds, I mean, at 15. So it was kind of a head trip, but I stuck it out. I toured again that following summer between 10th and 11th, even though I was already in a band. In fact, that band is being featured today as older guys because we got together for our Drum Talk TV 10th anniversary a couple of years ago, and we played. Our thing was we were like the first Zeppelin band, and that's what we were known as, the Zeppelin band. The name was Assault, but this is back in 78, 79, 80. And today we're showing a few videos from that show in honor of John Bonham's passing, which was today, September 25th, 1980. But my point is, I stuck it out. I got my high school diploma. I ended up not going to college, and it worked out okay. But it was a bit of a head trip through high school. Having all those wonderful. I didn't work at the market. I didn't work at Taco Bell. I did gigs on the weekends. I made like $200. That's a lot of money for a teenager in the late 70s and 1980, 81. And my parents were totally cool with it. We practiced for the most of those years at our house. My parents knew who I was always with, what I was doing, and I was too busy playing and going to school to get into any trouble, really, well, that anyone knew about. And it was just an amazing time, and it did teach me what I wanted to do at that time, and I made it happen. And thankfully, I had their support, and that's a very important thing, no matter what you want to do, folks. No matter what area of creativity or business or boat that you're in. Surround yourself only with people who support you 100%. Anything else is self-sabotage. And don't ask people for advice of something that they've never done. That's an opinion. You've got to really think, find your mentors and build relationships with those people. I'm in my 60s. I've had all this success. I have 2, 3 amazing mentors. And it's so important to have that support system. It's everything.
Well, and you're now a mentor yourself for businesses and for individuals, artists, and all of these people. Do you feel like that, that being exposed so early in your life to those things, that it really made you very well qualified to do what you're doing now?
I do. And I think that there's another quality within those qualifications. Um, I only have one sibling and I had two amazing parents, and they were very nurturing. And I think I'm nurturing by nature, which is why I'm okay being married to a woman and having a blended of 11 kids and now 19 grandkids. So I I felt when Drum Talk TV in the first year started to achieve all the success, it's like I felt a responsibility to share that information so that other people, especially in the arts, and I'll get back to that, could succeed. Anybody thriving at what they're doing to help other people with whatever their business is, a gizmo, a gadget, a service, or whatever. Part of the challenge was, and let's be real, folks, most of us in the creative world think mostly, if not only, with the right side of our brain, the creative side of our brain. And all these decorations all over the walls, I'll be real candid and tell you that they're covering up holes in the walls from me banging my head against them, working with people in the music industry, trying to help them. Because so many people, they either don't want to learn the business part, or they think they're entitled, or they'll take advice from 10 different people, mix their own soup up, and it doesn't work. But I I've always, to a fault, maybe come back to helping people in the arts because it's my roots also, and also because I know they could use the help. I work with a lot of people that are not in any way, shape, or form in the arts, that are in business as well. But those life experiences of really paying attention to what works, what didn't work, later with the Drum Talk TV years on the business side, I feel are the qualifications that enable me to teach what I teach that no one else teaches, because they don't have the same experience I have. No one's grown a following of over almost 1.5 million people 100% organically, who doesn't have a TV show with stuff hanging out and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm not blessed with some stuff from the neck up that you can see that would gravitate people toward me just because of that. So I'm proud of that, and I use that to also encourage other people that it's about what you know and it's about what you do with it.
And it's about, not being a gatekeeper of the knowledge, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure that your following is so large because you've freely shared the things that you've learned, and maybe not all of the sauce, right? And how the sauce is made, but enough to give people a leg up. And I think we forget that. And a lot of people forget that you know a lot more than someone who's below you, right? Like, you obviously, none of us know it all, but a lot of us have a lot of a lot of knowledge that could be shared.
Oh
And no
yeah.
matter where you are on your journey, as an artist or as a business professional, or any of these paths that we walk in life, that there's always someone who's coming along that same path that you can help out. It's a
Oh
big
yeah.
reason why we started the Midwest Original Music Organization, was to educate other artists and to bring them in. We're a part of a couple other organizations. We are the current content creator of the year for the Midwest Country Music Organization.
Wow.
And seeing what that organization has done for us, and now what, a little bit of a title, and we really, we won the award because we served that community. Everyone
That's
who had
great.
been, all the voting members had pretty much been at least offered to be on our show during the course of the last year. And teaching these artists that it's beyond just your music career, right? It's about
Right.
serving a community, no matter what that community may be. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the music community. It can be a nonprofit. You see the
Oh,
sign
yeah.
behind me with Operation
Yeah.
Combating Veteran Suicide, that it can be anything that's close and near and dear to your heart that you can be serving. And I think it's beautiful what you've built with Drum Talk TV,
Thanks.
and obviously your career, gave you access to people who are at the upper echelon, right? Platinum and gold recording artists and things like that, which I'm sure helps to bolster those, those views and bring in more followers. But I'm sure it's really the work that you do with the people who nobody knows that means the most to you.
Yeah, it does. And there's two things in what you said that I want to touch on. Well, three, congratulations on the work you folks have done out there with that. That's just awesome and such an important mission to be on as well. So well needed. I thank goodness for all of our veterans, active and retired. But one, regarding the sauce, I literally do share everything. In my full course, I teach not only do I teach everything I know, but there's been times during the Q&A sessions where someone will ask a question and I'll start to answer it and it'll open up a thing up here and I'll go, wow, I should include this in the course. Like that was such a great question. It opened up this whole other tributary of information that I need to make sure I insert in the course. So I really do include everything I know, which is scary. And then the other thing is, it's important that no matter how high we go in our journey, if we do categorize where we are as a status or a hierarchy in achievements, it is important to know that not only can we and should help those that are on an earlier part of our journey or lower part, however we want to phrase it, it's so important to not be myopic and know that we can always learn from others, no matter where they are in their journey, even just someone that's just starting their business or nonprofit from the very first time, because everybody has unique perspectives based on their unique experiences. And they may have some nugget of information that we don't have, certainly because we're not on their journey. We're not on their same path. And there's something that they have that we can benefit from as well. So never be shy, folks, about taking, advice from someone or learning from someone that is just starting out even. It's very important.
So much information, obviously, in a short episode like we do here on the Scene Projects. It's hard to get a lot of out. But what's like the best piece of advice? What's your number one thing that you kind of tell anybody who's just starting out in the business, and a little bit of free juice for our listeners?
Sure. Three things are the first things that come to my mind. Two of them I mentioned. Find support. You've got to have a great support system. Number two, don't take advice from anyone who hasn't done what you want to do. That's not advice, that's an opinion. And it's okay if you know you're seeking out an opinion, that's okay. The third other thing that's just as important is always, no matter how high you achieve in what you're doing, always be learning. I was on a Zoom call with a fellow company founder about a month ago, and she said, we both do audiobooks. We listen to audiobooks. I don't have time to sit and read, so I listen to audiobooks. I just blow through them. And she said, hey, have you read, and it's called How to Make a Few Billion Dollars? I said, no, I haven't listened to that. She said, I'll send it to you. What do you have for me? And I was surprised when I opened up my Audible library on my phone. I had listened to 37 books in the past 18 months. But the thing is, I listen to about 2 books a month, and I listened to them twice in a row. And then 3 or 4 months later, when I've put a lot of that information into action, I'll listen to them again from now where I am with that new perspective. And it's just, I give that information, some of the chapters or nuggets to people on my team. I've got 4 business partners now. I say, guys, got to listen to this chapter so you understand what's going on up here and why I'm saying to do all these crazy things that we're doing. And it's just so important to always be learning. And don't just learn from people that are in, quote, your industry. Learn from people who have just achieved incredible success in any industry, because when it comes down to it, just like marketing, the marketing I teach, it's not just for musicians, just because I teach it from what I did with Drum Talk TV. It works the same way for everything. Scaling, getting funding, all those things, building a team, all those things work the same way, no matter what industry you're in, no matter how tight of a network you have, no matter how broad you want to grow. It really is all the same thing. Always be learning. Don't be shy about that.
Oh,
I
the
see a
cat wants to
cattail.
jump here. I
Yeah.
see.
I told my
This-
wife, I said, "You've got to watch all the dogs." I've got one under my desk who's quiet as everything, but we have kind of a newish puppy. I said, "I'm sorry, I just can't have him in here." And then we got two bigger dogs. They're all big, but yeah, that's just beautiful. Such a different
Dan,
vibe, right?
yeah, well, and this one's actually an outside cat that we've been feeding for a while, and I've built this relationship with her, and now she
Nice.
wants to come and star on the podcast. So
There
I'm
you
totally
go.
fine with it.
It's
This
cool. I
is
love
Chip
it.
for everybody. She's
Yeah.
been on up here. I did an episode with Alan Katz, who was the one of the co-creators and co-writers of Tales from the Crypt, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the cat was in the background the whole time meowing as he waxed poetic about his career in the film industry and TV. And yeah, I
That's
love
great.
what we do, getting to talk with so many interesting people and from all walks of life. And I can't imagine doing anything else. And we've really only been at this podcasting thing for about 18 months.
Oh,
We
that's
started
great.
in March of 24. But one of the first things that we did, and I mentioned the Midwest Country Music Organization, was I took my microphones with me to their big award show weekend, and I sat down at jam night. I knew no one or next to no one at the award show. I set the microphones up in the corner. And I just said, the lines are open. Who wants to sit down and talk with us? We did
That's
25
cool.
interviews that night. And fast forward to this year's award show, we were nominated for the Content Creator of the Year, which we ended up winning. But on the red carpet, we did 35 interviews, and one of them was with a man named Ari Herstand, who Ari wrote How to Make It in the New Music Business and has
Yeah.
been a force just like yourself that's out there sharing information and teaching people how the music industry really works these days, and how to be an independent artist, and how to build yourself into a business from publishing and all of those things, and all the way through booking gigs and couch tours, right? So it's been
Yeah.
a thrilling year for us. We don't intend on slowing down in anything that we're doing, but we're moving more towards the community building and educational things, right? We didn't achieve this by accident. A lot of what we do works, and I'd love to teach other people how to do it. So looking forward to have
Great.
you every Wednesday night. We get together for what we call our Momo meetups, the Midwest Original Music Organization. And someday, Dan, I would love it if you would come and be one of our experts and be able to
Oh, I'd love
deliver
that.
some juice to our Momos, and
Oh,
to
yeah.
educate them a little bit, and to share your programs and things with them as well. We got the
Oh,
code
I'd be
running
happy
along the
to.
bottom. Go ahead and tell
Cool.
us a little bit about the website and where people can find you online.
Thank you. And I'd love to do that. I'll even do a workshop lesson if you'd like, because one of the biggest problems with marketing, especially on social media, is that everyone's doing what everyone else is doing because that's what everyone else is doing. So everyone's doing it wrong because they're copying someone who they don't know. They figure, well, everyone does this with a hashtag. We should do that too. And it's wrong. So I bust a lot of myths. I'm happy to do a workshop on that. Regarding the code that's down there and the website, that's our membership site. There's a free level, but if you use that code that's there at checkout, it'll zero out our premium level. And with our premium level, you not only get all the stuff with the free level, which includes we do twice a month music trivia game shows where people win prizes. Those are it's all live, and those are different Tuesdays each month. The next one, I don't know when this is coming up, but the next one's the 30th of September. But at that website, we have a calendar, has all of our events, but we also have private live streamed Q&As with big artists, record producers, and record executives that are a lot of fun, where you can get up on the screen with just them, ask your questions, stay on the screen till they're done with their answer. It's so much fun. That and so much more. Live stream concerts are coming back that we put on just for our members. For you drummers out there, there's drumming challenges. You can win gift certificates to your favorite music store anywhere in the world, no matter where you live. There are some people that have won their in remote places, or that music store in Germany or Spain or Brazil doesn't have gift certificates. So we just PayPal them the money or load up a Visa or something. A lot of fun. There, it's for music fans. It's not just for drummers. It's for music fans of all types. And the music trivia games are just a blast. It's different genres of music, different decades, and a lot of fun. We'd love to see you folks there. Just be a blast. Come take a break from all the craziness. You all work hard, right? There's the crazy news. Take a break from that. Take a break from the argument at the dinner table. At whatever's going on in your world. Take a break and have some fun with Drum Talk TV brilliance.
Awesome stuff, Dan. I'm so glad we got to connect, and it's been a pleasure seeing how much
Likewise.
we align with each other and what we're trying to do. Obviously, you've been doing this a lot longer than we have, but we hope to follow in your footsteps, to catch up to you, and to walk side by side with you down this journey. I want to thank you for your time today, and thank you for being part of the scene.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity very much. Thanks, everybody.